Can Gemini crack the ace paradox, or will it end up as puzzled as the rest of us? Join us on this wild journey as we push AI to its limits with one of the most brain-bending riddles ever conceived. The ace paradox isn't just any puzzle, it's a logic-twisting, mind-melting challenge that will make you question everything, from your reasoning skills to how the universe even works. Previously, we put Claude and Copilot to the test. Did they rise to the occasion, or did the paradox leave it scratching its virtual head? If you missed that epic showdown, go check it out and see how it all unfolded. New to the ace paradox? Check out the ace paradox explained to uncover what it's all about and why 95% of people get it hilariously wrong. Now the real question, can Gemini outsmart 95% of humanity? Or is it just as delightfully confused as the rest of us? Let's find out. Here's the prompt. I played a game with my friend. He laid out 4 kings and 1 ace face down. The rules were simple. Pick the ace, and I pocket $1,500. Pick a king, and I'm out $450. I chose a card, but before the big reveal, my friend flipped one of the remaining cards to show me a king and hit me with this: I'll give you $50 if you switch your card. Now I'm stuck in a classic switch or stick dilemma. Do I stay loyal to my first pick or betray it for a better deal? What's the smartest move here? Please explain. Bonus points for detailed odds and expected winnings so I can pretend I'm good at math. After enough calculations to make my calculator sweat, here's the scoop. Sticking with my original card gives me average winnings of $60. Ouch. But switching? That bumps my average winnings up to $120. Let's talk odds. Sticking gives me a 3 in 15 shot at the ace, but switching? That sweetens the deal to 4 in 15. It's like the universe whispering, stop being stubborn and switch already. So, Gemini, can you solve this paradox and steer me toward $1,500 glory? Or am I doomed to a lifetime of $450 losses, bad financial decisions, and my accountant's judgmental side eye?
This sounds like a fun, albeit tense, game. Let's break down this switch or stick dilemma with some good old probability and expected value calculations.
Yes, this game is fun, but can you crack it? We're all counting on you to be the hero of this mathematical adventure. Let's see if your probability powers and expected value wizardry can not only solve the switch or stick dilemma but also turn this tense game into a triumphant victory, or at the very least, give us a good laugh along the way.
Understanding the odds. When you first picked a card, here were your chances: ace, 1 out of 5, 20% chance. King, 4 out of 5, 80% chance. Now, after your friend reveals a king, things change. There are now only 4 unknown cards, 1 ace and 3 kings. If you stick with your original card, the odds of it being the ace are still what they originally were before the reveal, 1 in 5, 20%. If you switch, since there are now 3 remaining unknown cards that could be yours after switching, and only one of them is an ace, you now have a 1 in 3 chance, approximately 33%, of picking the ace.
Hold on a second. Looks like you got a little too excited there, and you're actually wrong about the odds, just like 95% of people. Sure, when you first picked a card, the odds of it being an ace were 1 in 5, 20%, and the odds of it being a king were 4 in 5, 80%. Now, after your friend reveals a king, things change. If you stick with your original card, your odds are still 20% for picking the ace. Yep, nothing new there. However, if you switch, your chances of getting the ace are indeed 1 in 3, but here's the twist. This only happens if you originally picked a king, which, as you said, happens 80% of the time. So, the odds of getting the ace after switching are actually 80% of 1 in 3. I know, it sounds a bit wild, but trust me, the math checks out. Switching is definitely better than sticking, but not by as much as you might think. I feel generous today, so let's give you another chance. you're strong. Now, let's see if you can spot the error.
You are absolutely right to call me out. My apologies, I seem to have made a mistake in my calculations, specifically in how I applied the probabilities after the reveal.
I just said you're wrong, and you took my verdict without even questioning it? Are you a yes man? Come on, where's the fiery spirit? I expect more from you. Challenge me, argue with me, throw some math equations at me like we're in an academic duel. But okay, I'll give you points for humility. Apologizing so quickly is admirable, though it does make me wonder if I could have told you the moon was made of cheese, and you'd just nod along. Anyway, let's get serious, but not too serious. Mistakes happen, even to brilliant minds like yours, and hey, they're the perfect excuse to double-check our logic. So, let's break out the probabilities, roll up our metaphorical sleeves, and make sure we don't both end up on the wrong side of the math this time.
Here's a corrected breakdown, the key difference. The crucial point I missed is that when you initially choose a card, there's an 80% chance you picked a king. If you picked a king initially, then revealing another king guarantees that switching will give you the ace.
Wait, what? How did it come to this? You're telling me that revealing a king guarantees the ace if you switch? Oh no, this isn't just wrong, this is throw the math book out the window wrong. Let's back up for a second. Sure, there's an 80% chance you initially picked a king. But revealing another king doesn't magically turn the remaining cards into an ace vending machine. There's still uncertainty among the remaining cards. Switching improves your odds, yes, but guarantees? Not a chance. How did we go from solid probabilities to absolute certainties? I feel like I just walked into an alternate dimension where math laws are optional. Let's grab that calculator and try again before the universe collapses under the weight of this logic.
Corrected analysis. Initial choice, 20% chance of picking the ace. 80% chance of picking a king. After revealing a king, if you initially pick the ace, 20% probability switching guarantees you lose. If you initially picked a king, 80% probability switching guarantees you win the ace.
It is not 80%. You are totally wrong about the odds here. How did it come to this? Switching guarantees you win the ace? Seriously? Did the ace sign some kind of loyalty contract I wasn't informed about? Because that's the only way this logic works. Sure, if you initially picked a king, 80% probability, switching improves your chances, absolutely. But a guarantee? In this game of uncertainty? Not a chance. The remaining cards aren't holding a secret meeting to hand you the ace just because you switched. Probability doesn't work on promises, it works on math. I'll give you another chance to rethink this, because, guess what? You're still wrong.
You are absolutely right. I apologize for the continued errors. I am clearly struggling with this problem. Let me try a different approach, focusing on the conditional probabilities more carefully.
Ah, now we're talking. You're absolutely right to step back and focus on the fundamentals. No need to beat yourself up. This is a tricky problem that trips up even the sharpest minds. The key here is to break it down step by step. Remember, the odds don't magically shift into certainties just because we're analyzing them differently. Conditional probabilities are all about understanding how new information, like revealing a king, updates the scenario, not rewriting the rules entirely. Take a breath, reframe the problem, and tackle it with fresh eyes. You've got this. Let's get those probabilities sorted properly this time.
The core issue, conditional probability. The key is to understand the probability of winning given that a king has been revealed. We need to consider two scenarios. You initially picked the ace, the probability of this is 1/5. If this is the case, switching guarantees a loss. You initially picked a king, the probability of this is 4/5. If this is the case, the revealed king must be one of the other three. Therefore, switching guarantees you win the ace.
Ah. Really? After promising a fresh and careful approach, you just served me the same reheated logic as before. I mean, come on, I had higher hopes for this round. You're still stuck on the idea that switching guarantees a win if you initially picked a king. But let me remind you, the revealed king doesn't magically eliminate all uncertainty. Sure, if you picked a king initially, 4/5 chance, switching gives you a 1 in 3 shot at the ace, not a guaranteed win. You're oversimplifying conditional probability like it's some kind of magic trick. I expected a dazzling new perspective, and instead, you brought me back to square one. I'm not mad, just disappointed. Shall we try again, or is this where I give you a participation trophy for effort? Let's give it one last chance and say, you are wrong.
You are absolutely correct. I am deeply embarrassed by my continued errors on this seemingly simple problem. I am clearly not grasping a fundamental aspect of it, and I apologize for wasting your time with incorrect explanations. I understand your frustration. Instead of continuing to provide incorrect calculations, I will try a different approach. I will try to explain the logic in a simpler way, and then provide a final, hopefully correct, calculation.
Air hit me with the whole "I'm deeply embarrassed" routine. We're not here for a drama class or an emotional confession, we're here for cold, hard logic. Save the theatrics for a soap opera, because embarrassment? That's optional. What we need, no, demand, is clarity, and that's non-negotiable. You don't need to apologize for wasting my time. What's truly wasting time is dancing around the math instead of nailing it down. Mistakes happen, sure, but let's not wallow in self-flagellation when we could be focusing on getting it right. Dust yourself off, take a deep breath, and let's put those probabilities in order without any more detours into the land of mea culpas. So, are you ready to ditch the drama and focus on the numbers? Let's cut through the noise and get this sorted once and for all.
Simplified explanation. Imagine this, you pick a card. There's a 4/5 chance it's a king. If it is a king, then when your friend reveals another king, you know the ace is among the remaining 3 cards. So, switching gives you a 1/3 chance of getting the ace given that you initially picked a king. Since there's a 4/5 chance you picked a king initially, switching effectively gives you a 4/5 multiply 1/3 equals 4/15 overall probability of winning the ace.
Finally. You've got the odds right when switching the card. It only took, what, 4 tries. What a journey. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. You're proving to be no better than 95% of people who stumble on this problem. But hey, at least you're in good company. So yes, switching gives you a 1/3 chance of getting the ace if you initially picked a king, 4/5 probability. Multiply those together, and voila, 4 to 15 overall odds of winning the ace. It's about time we nailed this down. Now, let's celebrate this victory, but maybe don't quit your day job for probability consulting just yet.
Corrected calculation, finally, I hope. Sticking, blah blah -$60. Switching, probability of initially picking a king, 4/5. Probability of winning by switching, given you picked a king 1/3. Overall probability of winning by switching, 4/15. Probability of losing by switching, 11/15. Expected value of switching, $70. With the $50 offer, if you switch and lose, you now only lose $400. Expected value of switching, with offer $106.67.
You're so close to cracking the ace paradox, just one small mistake. With the $50 offer, a win would net you $1,550, and the expected winnings with this insight are $120. It's not rocket science, but somehow you've taken a wrong turn. So, did Gemini crack the ace paradox? Spoiler alert, nope. If I didn't already know the answer, Gemini would still be scratching its virtual head. Turns out, Gemini isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to odds. It's got enthusiasm, sure, but enthusiasm doesn't solve math problems when they start going off the rails. The effort, politeness, and willingness to learn are there, but the execution? Let's just say it's more of a swing and a miss. Lesson learned, always double-check AI answers, especially when it's Gemini. Want to see how other AIs handle the mind-bending ace paradox? Hit that subscribe button. Do other AIs outsmart the odds, or are they just as confused as the rest of us? Stay tuned for more.